Sweet. Hey, all right. So today, what we're gonna roast is a low temp Peru Highland Select. It's a new coffee of ours. We got like 3 new coffees that I've been working on. One is a Peru, which we're gonna do today, and that's the newest one. I also have a Tanzania Peaberry and a Costa Rica. So I think what we're gonna do right now, though, is this Peru Highland Select, and I wanna. So I've done a handful of batches on this. What I generally do when we got a new coffee is like, the first batches that I'm gonna go for, I'll work my way to a high temp batch, the very first one. And as I'm getting up to a higher temp, I'm checking the beans as they're moving through those lower temperatures. I'm smelling them. I'm feeling, just kind of like getting a good feel for like what's available flavor wise. What do they look like? How are they acting in heat? And it's just a good, safe batch. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not leaning one way or another. I'm just like moving through and getting to like a full development roast that's maybe 418 degrees, 420 degrees. People have loved this Peru, and I love it. It's like, it has like this really nice sort of like up front, you kind of have like this edgy acidity going on, and then it just rolls into this huge chocolate, big body, so smooth, very delicious. Okay,
I love chocolate.
Yeah, dude. I mean, chocolate and coffee. Like, I'm somebody who loves bright, acidic things. So like, I like it when my coffee is really bright, really vibrant, really complex. But man, when you're drinking a cup of coffee and you like are done, and that aftertaste, like you have it, there's stuff going on, you're like, wow, this is really pleasing, it's got a bite to it. And then the finish just goes chocolate, like milk.
Yeah.
It's so good, man. So
My favorite.
I love it. And it's just an aspect to coffee that I'm kind of like, it's there, let's celebrate it, let's drink it, So, and this Peru is delicious. So then, for me, I'm going, all right, now I've roasted a handful of a lower temp roast. I do a first high temp roast, and then I go do a lower temp roast. And then I'm kind of like pinging up against the edges that I know. So like whether it's a temperature edge, so I might do like a 412, or I might do a 389. So we're looking at like, it's all low temp roasts. You could count all of those as like a light roast, though they're not light roasts. And then I'm like on 2 sides of that, and then I got to find a spot there in the middle that's like so today what I'm going to do, what I know about the Peru is this, because of the acidity, if I do like a real low temperature roast and I'm pushing it really hard, there is just like, it's so much acidity, and I want that body, I want that chocolate stuff to come out. So what I know is I got to stretch the thing out. We got to stretch it out. We got to stretch out the roast. How do you do that? Because you can just be like this Brazil that we have. Okay, the Brazil. How do you stretch it out to get it real nice? Even though I like light, delicate stuff, with the Brazil, keep the flame low. Keep it like easy, okay, the whole time, and we get to those lower temperature roasts and drop it really nice. But the Peru has to get, it has to have pressure. You gotta add heat, you gotta have some force to it. So this is a bean where you need force to it, and you gotta stretch things out. Because typically, if you got a lot of force and a lot of heat, it means that your roast is gonna go fast, okay? So now we're like, we gotta add heat to it, and we got to stretch it out. So what I'm doing with this is we're gonna push it. We're gonna hit it with some heat right away and get the thing moving. All right, and then we're gonna pull her back in the second half of the roast. We're just gonna like let it easily get there, and we gotta add development time. If we aren't adding development time, we aren't going to achieve that full body and chocolate stuff, which we know is there. It's not hypothetical. We're not wondering, I wonder if I do that to it, if that stuff will show up. It will show up. It is there, and that's how we're going to get there, okay? So we got to push this one, and then we got to stretch it out. Peru, here we go.
Let's do it.
one of the things that you have in your toolkit to stretch it out is your mass. How much? So what are our things with our roasting? What are the 3 things that we control that are affecting the roast itself? You have flame, your heat. You have your airflow, which is sort of like you're thinking about convection and pressure inside your drum. The third thing is mass, dude. So mass. So when I got this, I know I want to push it hard and I know I want to stretch it out. Of my 3 tools, heat, air, mass, what am I going to do with these things to achieve conceptually what I'm trying? Well, mass, dude. If I put a bunch of coffee in that drum, I have to hit it hard, right? Yeah, right, because otherwise it's going to be like a forever roast. So I want to hit it hard and I want to stretch it out. Let's add some mass, okay? So it'd be very normal for me to do like a 16-pound batch. And so I think what I'm going to do is let's do an 18-pound batch, all right? And I'm going to add a couple pounds to it. So this bucket weighs something, so I'm weighing out an 18-pound batch. The bucket is 2 pounds, 2.15 pounds. So we got ourselves an 18-pound batch of Peru. All right.
All right.
Now the next thing we're going to think about, what is the temperature that we're going to start this roast at? So I'm going to push this thing.
Okay.
Right now it's at 400 degrees. 18 pounds, okay. So I'm gonna just start my notes here. Today's first, it's a low temp, 18 pounds. I like writing this stuff down, obviously just to keep record of it. I'll taste this batch, and I'll drink it and come back to the profile and check out what I did. But the other thing is, just simply when I'm roasting right now, I want to go back and it's 18. I want to further this up. So I'm going to start at 400 degrees charge temp. To me, if it's anything, I'm charging it just a touch low. It could be higher than that, right? I'm going to think about air. How does heat transfer to the beans? Your airflow has a big thing to do with that. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. I'm going full throttle and flame right away. Okay. I'm going to put heat to it. Kind of like when you're cooking stuff, you think about that frying pan, like the pan itself. How hot do I want that pan before I put my stuff on it? Are you cooking with oils or whatever? How hot is that oil before I throw the veggies onto it? So you want to consider how hot is this drum? How hot is the environment before I'm dumping it in? And depending on, if you're going to throw a bunch of stuff into your pan, you have to consider, you need that pan to be super hot if you're going to throw a bunch of stuff on it. You don't want the pan to be, if you have a bunch of things you're throwing into this hot pan and you're trying to cook it quick and hot, and yet that pan is so hot. So that's why you want to think about, how hot is this environment? How hot is the drum? Now, something that you don't have on, when you're cooking on a pan on a stove top, that you do in a roaster is, you have this whole element of airflow. Okay, so how fast is air being pulled through this drum? That's what this baffle is for. And that baffle is allowing the environment to have a certain amount of pressure in it from the heat and from all the things going on in here.
Yep.
So the airflow is producing how much is this holding in your energy? Is the airflow turn up really high and it's pulling through all the air through it? What exactly is going on here? So that's part of what a person uses to make your plan. What am I doing here? So I just know with 18 pounds in here, 400 degrees, full heat, I'm actually gonna keep the air tight a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna open it up a ton because I want the beans to absorb the heat as much as they can. If I can have them absorb the heat as much as possible, then they're gonna like get moving right away. So what I'm looking for here, how do I know they're moving? Let's check this out here, the temperature. So I'm looking at like, it just turned around, you know, I should say it's now increasing the bean temperature. All right, so I know the beans are now taking on heat versus the environment losing heat. Now the beans are taking on heat. And the environment is increasing, okay? And so now I'm just thinking to myself, what do I want to do? Like, how is this stuff taking on its heat, and how do I want it to be transferred? Okay, so this beginning start of the phase is like we're getting heat into the beans, but now I can kind of like, I want to pull it off a bit because I know that I want to stretch this thing out. So instead of having it be like max flame, pulled up airflow, I got to start changing something within the environment because now we're getting movement on the beans. So I'm going to pull back the flame. I mean, it's not like an absolute rule forever, no matter what, but like, it is like a style of roasting that we certainly do here is like, we're pulling our flame back before you're adjusting your air. And so like, pull your flame back first before you adjust your air. The airflow changes your environment so drastically, and so it's like you can strip all of the energy out of your drum with your airflow. Even if I were to kill the gas right now, I'm not stripping all of the energy out of the drum. I can turn the gas back on, keep going. I could open up the airflow all the way and I would strip. It's just like the energy inside of the environment is gone. And I would have to work really hard and do some funny things to like get that energy back in there. So what I do right now, I know I gotta pull this thing back. I gotta like, you know, I gotta change the environment. So what I'm gonna do to change my environment is first, I'm gonna mess with my flame because I'm not trying to make some drastic thing going. So here I am, 4 minutes, 40 seconds. And the beans are 246. The environment is just under 400 degrees. We're at 5 inches of flame. So I pulled off a full inch of flame, and then like what I'm checking out here is all of the like, what speed am I moving at here, okay? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I'm always doing this calculation of like, how far am I from my finished environmental temperature? I want to think about that. Do I have 50 degrees to go? Do I have 20 degrees to go? So I'm always like kind of picturing like, where am I trying to end at with this one, and like how fast am I getting there? If I want things to like change speed, my airflow is a really good way. You know, like I know one thing I can do with my airflow is totally strip the environment like I was talking about, but the other thing that you can do is just simply get things to go fast. Airflow, more airflow is faster. So like, it has taken on, you know, it's had to like take on some heat, it's doing good, and now I'm gonna like touch the airflow open. I backed off some of the flame, I'm opening up the airflow now, so 5 minutes and 50 seconds. 277 for the beans, 403 for the environment, and I've opened up the airflow, and now we're increasing by 3/10, so I've sped up. This increase has sped up because I adjusted my airflow. The airflow is faster, but the flame is down, versus flame higher, airflow slower. These are, you know, they're moving in relation to each other, okay? So we're at 6.5 minutes, 6:30, 292, 413, and what we're checking on is the Maillard reaction. Let's see what's going on. The yellowing begun. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, now you can still see the quality of the beans still have an element of the green bean going on in there. It certainly is taking on color. It's not green totally, but man, like, and we're watching those last little bits of feeling of green bean go away right here. Okay, so we're calling this, now we're fully in the Maillard reaction, 7 minutes in, 305 temperature for the beans, 421. Yellow. So here we go. We're going to start to do the thing I was talking about. We're going to start stretching it out. How are we going to stretch it out? Are we going to stretch it out using airflow, or are we going to stretch it out using flame? Well, let's do a little bit of both. We're going to first start with our flame, pull our flame down to like ease the environment, and then we're going to be opening up that airflow. If you want to just stall coffee out, you could make a very drastic move to your flame, like cut your heat. That would stall your coffee out, stretch out whatever phase you're in. You could also open up your airflow a little, and just a little bit of airflow opening is going to first increase the heat inside of your drum really fast, and then it's just all the energy's gone. You spent all your energy. You cleared it out. So we don't want to do that. What we're going to do here first is we're going to start backing off on our flame. So I'm going to go down. I dropped in on 4 inches of flame at 812, 328, 432. I'm checking out my speed again. I'm like looking at how fast is the environmental temperature increasing. It had been 0.3 of a degree. Now it's 1/10 of a degree. Moving. Point, 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 point. Real slow and steady. That's good. All right. So, and it's a low, like for 18 pounds, this is a pretty low environmental temperature, which is how you achieve stretching out a roast, okay? If you have it super hot, it's gonna go really fast. So I pushed my heat right away, but I got to a lower environmental temperature, and I'm just stretching it out. So now I'm thinking about, where are the beans at? 340, okay, we're like well into the Maillard reaction. It's beginning to, it's like the beans are like turning towards first crack now. They're still, 20, 30 degrees away from it, but they're turning towards it. You can just tell, look at the texture. Like this guy looks like a little stone. The body of the beans are really starting to take on this roasted feel, but you can see they're not developed. They need so much more. They need to expand. As you roast, they just keep expanding. So like the super darkest roast you're gonna find, the beans are fully expanded, and they're really dark and oily, which is like the worst. I hate that. I'm sure some people love that and like go for it, but man, I do not like that. I like it when they still, even if it's a higher temp roast for us, I still like them to be like, I like texture. Texture is telling me something about how roasted they are. If they're fully expanded, the outside of the bean is like so smooth because there's all those little detailed cracks that are getting cooked and have different variances and stuff, which is, I like that. I think there's flavor in there, but when it's all expanded, just one big thing is like, it's all gone. It's all gone. All that good stuff. They all went out the chimney, So, first crack is just started. These beans are hopping, okay? You can see smoke puffing out of them. We're gonna, and here we go. Now we're gonna do a little stretching out, okay? So I'm gonna now open up my airflow. We got first crack going. I'm pulling back my big moves to 1043. It's my first crack at 375.
Oh yeah, I can smell it.
451 is the environmental temperature, and I opened up the airflow to 50%, and I pulled the flame down to 2 inches of flame. And like, what's going on here? It's still increasing by a lot. My environmental temperature is going up by 2/10, and I'm creeping up on my temperature here. So now the risk I'd be running right now by changing my flame too much, by changing my heat setting too much, would be I would like stall this thing out right here. I would screw up where the beans are at, and I'm going to clear the cooling tray real quick. I don't want these pre-developed beans in my batch we're going to drink. So picking those out. So now we're looking at our time. We're 1 minute into first crack. Oh yeah. I'm pulling back my heat. You hear the change? I don't think you can, but the change of the sound of the beans in the drum occurred when I lowered my flame to a certain point. And that is telling you you're losing heat. Your environment inside of your drum is losing heat, which for me is what I'm after right now. I want to lose heat. I want to stretch this thing out. All right. A lot of variance within the beans right now. Like, look at how the color and the variance within one bean, like this right here. There's variance, okay? I like variance. I want that. I'm coming up on a 2-minute development. 397 right now. 398. I think I'm going for 400. That's what they're saying. 400, please. You got it, guys. 400. Yeah. So it's a 12-minute and 49-second roast. That's a 400 degrees. And you would definitely think that right there, this roast got stretched out. It's still a low temp roast, but it's going to be full bodied. It's going to be chocolate notes in here, but what I know about the acidity within this Peru is that it's not going to just like disappear. You know, the acidity is there. It's not going anywhere. So we did that, and we got some chocolate notes in there. It's exactly what we're looking for. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoy it. We'll catch you next time.